Okay, so if you are watching this call or you are here, I'm looking at your face. It's because you have reached Emerald, and so you're showing like you know what to do. You've figured out this business, all right. Um, so I kind of have just I have like a formal presentation, but I'm not going to go there just because I'm just not going to go there tonight. And I just kind of wanted to talk about like basic things that had to happen for me to get from where I stayed Emerald. I stayed Emerald for like 2.5 years before I went Diamond. But I actually didn't, but I did, but I didn't. So let me explain what happened to me with Emerald and Diamond and all the things. So when I first started, I signed up within 5 months, I think it was around that time, I had signed up my grandmother and Josh as my discount coaches because I had a very, very bad, just very poor mentality. I let selling things get in the way of me actually helping people. Like I was so scared to sell things that I wasn't helping people. And so I was still signing up customers, but I was scared to tell them that they could get a discount by signing up as a coach because I was just so scared of selling them something because it somehow benefited me, even though it benefited all of us. I was just scared of that. And so the only people that I felt confident enough to sign up was Josh and my grandmother because they were family and they got it. Could have gone Diamond and Emerald way quicker had I just been honest with people and told them how genuinely amazing this was and wasn't such a scaredy cat, really. And so I went Emerald with family members, and then I actually, within 6 months of that, did go Diamond for 1 week because I wanted it. And so I want to tell you how silly this is. Danielle told me about this, or no, maybe it was Annie Lee at the time. Annie Lee told me about this Diamond Dash group. Okay. So what you do in these Diamond Dashes, if there's ever one that you see advertised in Team Forward Fitness or I tag you in, just do it. Like if you really want to grow your business, just do it. What you do is you put $25 into the pot, as they call it, and they will, whoever hits Diamond by the end of that 6-week training gets a share of the pot. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. Like, it seems pretty cool. But once I put that $25 in, and guys, there's a trend with me doing that in my business. Anytime I put money in, like, it's going to happen. I don't care. So I put $25 in, and in 6 weeks, I had signed up 6 other discount coaches, got Josh to Emerald with discount coaches, and then I actually at the time, which she ended up quitting like 2 or 3 weeks later, but I had another girl that she reached Emerald because she signed up 2 coaches. And I got $350 from that Diamond Dash group. So I hit Diamond for 1 week, but then it was all off. The pressure was off, and so I let it drop. And then I tried to get it back, but I was doing it in all the wrong ways. And I was doing it with what I'm going to call a poor man's mentality. And really just a loser mentality, if I'm going to be totally straight up honest with you. And the loser mentality was just, why aren't people coming to me? Why? I don't understand. Like, I'm doing everything and I'm doing my workouts and I'm showing up and blah, blah, blah. And really, I just had an entry-level mentality, which I'm going to explain to you guys using John Maxwell. He kicked my butt when I read his book. And that was my biggest reason I wasn't growing, is because I was not taking the right mentality. And I know you're like probably sitting here going, Lauren, I didn't come on a Diamond Mastermind call to hear about mindsets, but that's literally what it is. You're like, I want to know how many invites you send and how you send them and who you're sending to. But like, you can do all those things, but actually you won't do those things until you have a leadership mentality. So it wasn't until finally, I guess, probably last summer when I was like, okay, I'm going to do this the right way, and I'm going to grow as a leader, and I'm going to lead with a people-based mindset, and I'm just going to do it. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm just going to do it. And I just decided to just not quit, the honest truth. Because just like what I just told you there, I got to Diamond in 6 weeks, and I dropped it. Like, you're going to have so many setbacks in your business, so many of them. But that does not mean you get to quit. It means you get to figure out what you did wrong and keep going. Because here's the thing, and this hit me so hard the other day whenever I'm in another training right now that Lindsay Matway and Melanie Mitchell are putting on. And if you've ever heard Miguel Carrasco speak, just go YouTube that guy. He's insane. Like, he's literally on Energize Plus crack, I think. But he's made such a good point, and he said, I want you to find any Beachbody coach that has quit and tell me if they're successful at anything else. And I was like, oh, like, that's such a good point. If you can't stick it out in a fitness career and in a business like this where you get to determine the pace, then you're not, this is like, I can't even. And then oh, by the way, I've also been going crazy with some Dave Ramsey YouTube videos right now. Like, he's like, I'm bleeding Dave Ramsey, and everything he says backs up everything in life. Like, for the example of, it takes discipline. Like, it just takes, not like you are not going to pay off your credit card bills in 5 weeks. Like, if you have a lot of crap that you built up, you've got to work at that. And if you're going to build a business, it's not going to happen in even a year sometimes. Like, you're just going to have to just trudge and trudge and trudge. And it's all about discipline. And so when Miguel Carrasco said that, find one Beachbody coach that has quit and been successful at something else and didn't quit that too, tell me. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that is such a good point. So even if it's not, and there's a difference between people that just weren't passionate about fitness. But if you're here and you're passionate about fitness and this is working for you and you're just quitting because it's hard, like, that's when it's like, oh, like, you're not getting it. There's not a quick anything. Dave Ramsey even said, I don't have get out of debt pills. Like, there's no pills for anything. It's hard work, and it's sucky while you're in it. And it just is until you get there and you've established your business and you've established like how you do it, and things get normal. I'm telling you, like, so you guys are still in like the fighting for what your normal is in this business, and you'll get there. Like, you're going to get there. I promise. It's just hard. If you're trying to start a business with no education, whereas anything else in the world gives you a 4-year education and an internship to throw you into it. You have to honestly look at your first 4 years of this business as your education, like internship. And I promise it will pay off. Like, it's that long-term mindset of like, yeah, this is freaking hard right now, but it's going to pay off so much. And I want to show you how that will happen. So there's that. Now, the first thing you have to do is you have to stop thinking like an employee, which is hard to do. It was very hard for me to do because that's all I had ever been, was an employee. I felt it in the back of my mind that I was meant to be a leader, but I literally had no clue. Like, I don't know how to explain it. And you guys, if you're on this call, like, and you've been in this business for as long as, like, I know you guys have been, I know that you feel that whisper in your ear that you're a leader, right? Like, do you feel that? Where it's like, yeah, I'm a really good worker. I'm really good. I have a good work ethic. I show up. I'm disciplined. But I just know that I'm going to do something really great. Like, I know you feel that if you're like listening to this call, because that's where I was, and that's what got me. Like, I was like, I'm a nobody. I am. Like, we're nobodies, but we're also meant for greatness. And so, like, that's where you have to take that employee mindset and turn it into a leader mindset. And I want to show you, I'm going to kind of skip around on this, but I basically created a PowerPoint for John Maxwell's entire book called what was it? The 5 Levels of Leadership. If you don't own that book, you need to go get that book. Let's see if it'll start me at the right slide here. Okay, so here it is, and I'm going to get rid of our faces. All right, so what is holding you back as an Emerald coach, like what's going to take you to the next level, is your leadership, is your mindset about leadership. As an Emerald coach, so I've taken his book and I've applied it to Beachbody. As an Emerald coach, you are technically on the first level of leadership, and you are what's called a positional leader. You have been invited to the leadership table, but that does not make you a leader. The benefits of being in this position is that you get to create a legacy starting right now. You get to decide, who am I, what are my values, and what leadership values do I want to put into place with this business. The negatives of this is you are still proving yourself every single month. Success Club is still something that you are working hard to do, but you are proving yourself. The turnover rate is high for these positional leaders. So Emerald coaches, this is where people get and they go, that wasn't worth it. Or this is where they get and they say, okay, I did that, now I'm going to do it again. Like, you got two options here. So this is where the turnover rate is the highest for coaches. And this is where most people give up. They say, oh my goodness, it was too hard to get here. And the reason why Emerald is so hard to get to is because it's the first thing that you have to do to really grow. So hard. But then you go, okay, I did it once, let's do it again. And then you do it again. And then you go, okay, I did it twice, I can do it again. And then that confidence grows. And then also it becomes, like I said earlier, it becomes your new normal. So just trust the process. Keep going. It's even like a push-up. I relate everything to fitness because I think everything relates to fitness. That's why I'm so passionate about this. But it's like a push-up. You do one push-up and you're like, okay, I did one, I can do another. And then you do it again. And then 3 gets kind of hard, but you do it again. And you just, the next time you come back, you're able to do more and more and more. It's the same thing with this business, same thing with Emerald and leadership and that mindset. And so the one thing he says about being a positional leader is that people quit people and not companies. So the thing about being an Emerald coach and having people, like, you already have people that you are leading technically, that they are there. You have to remember that you are like leading them, and that when they're leaving, they're not leaving Beachbody. This is hard truth. They're leaving you because you are what is leading them, not Beachbody. So that is one thing, like, that's, and I don't know, I could go a lot deeper into that, but I'm not going to, because I want to value all of our time here, and there's more things I want to get to. Let's see, the law. Let me see if I can explain this quickly. Chart course. Okay, how to grow from here. So we'll just go straight to that. So let's say you're at the positional leadership, and you're on level 1. Congratulations. But here is where you need to grow from, because we are never going to be complacent, because complacency is when you're basically dying a slow death. We don't do that. We want to grow. So the first thing you need to do is thank your people. I don't care if you have 2 customers and 1 discount coach, you thank them. It is a big deal that they trusted you to come in and work this business with you. Like, it's a big deal. You don't have to send them anything if you don't want, but you can. You can send them a beach bar or a packet of Energize or whatever, but just thank them. Like, it is a big deal that they trusted you. So that's level 1. That's one thing you can do. The next thing is just dedicate yourself to leadership growth. Like, just say, okay, I am no longer, just running a business. Like, I am a leader, because you are. Like, when you think about what we do, we are helping people get healthy and fit. And then you are helping other women help other people get healthy and fit. And so you really do. You have to commit to your leadership growth. And I highly, obviously, recommend John Maxwell. Alexis also got me on the John Gordon train. Like, he's super good at leadership, but just anything that can help you grow as a leader, just do it and chew on that stuff and eat that stuff and serve it with breakfast. Like, it's so, so good for you. Not just, by the way, not just for Beachbody, it's good for your marriage. It is good for your children. It is insanely good for your children, because you really learn how to help them grow and not just tell them yes or no or whatever. All right. Define your leadership. So that's that's what we're doing right now. Are you a level 1? And I would say in this group, most of us are on a level 1, just because we are just at the beginning rungs of leadership here. Now, the rest of it, I'm just going to go ahead. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and move to the next one. This is permission. This is when you have Emerald coaches who aren't just signed up, but they're actually kind of excited, okay? Some of you may be on the permission level. Actually, I know some of you are. So when you're on the permission level as an Emerald coach, you have to earn that permission to lead your people. All right. I say it like this, like the level 1 position, that just says, yes, you're my upline. But level 2 permission says, okay, I know that you know what you're doing, so I want you to lead me and show me and be there for me and speak belief into me. That is when you have permission. All right. And the only way to do that is to do those things. Speak belief, show that you're leading, show that you are leading from the front, which I'll get to in a second, how to show that. But the benefits of this level is that your team energy increases, you focus on the value of each person on the team, and you earn their trust. Now, some of the negatives, and this is especially for me when it says achievers, because I'm a type 3 on the Enneagram, in case you guys didn't figure that out, that it can be frustrating for achievers because you will have people on your team that are not going to be on the same like achieving like level as you are, and you have to learn how to deal with that, which we'll get to in level 3 here. You must take each person on your team as a whole, good and bad, and figure out how to use the strengths and figure out how to use the weaknesses. Like really, you do. So you start to just really gain their permission to lead, and that is honestly when you hit this level. I really feel like the rest just kind of starts coming naturally. It's very hard to go from level 1 to level 2. But you'll know when you get there. And then here's how it says you can grow. So let's say you're on the permission level and you're like, okay, I'm ready to go to the next one. It says, be sure to have the right attitude toward people, connect with yourself before you connect with others, develop a people-oriented leadership style. And so this, you guys, like, it sounds so simple, but this is a John Gordon thing too, which if you've read his books, like Alexis sent me The Carpenter, and it was so good, but it is so people-oriented. It is not about the ranks and the achievements and the diamonds and the emeralds, which is ironic for me to say on it here on a diamond call, but it is about bringing out the best in your people. So here's the deal. You cannot bring out the best in your people if you are not actively seeking out the best for yourself. So the fun part about leadership is that it's hard. It's very hard. So that's not the fun part. The hard thing about leadership is you're constantly having to get out of your comfort zone. The fun thing is you're constantly growing. And so as you grow, your leaders grow. And here's the fun thing too, or the scary thing. I don't know what kind of thing it is, but it's a thing. It's a scary thing to me, is if I'm not growing, then my team, no one is going to outgrow me. That's just the way that it goes. Now, there will be some outliers, but those people are super crazy rare. And my team is only going to grow as fast as I'm growing. I noticed the other week, you guys, whenever I had hit that like huge roadblock, that I basically shut down, and I watched all of you guys shut down too. I really did. I watched the whole team just like slowly slump because my energy levels weren't there. My leadership was totally gone. I was just in survival mode trying to figure out heads and tails of what my next move was. And so you have to, like, you really, really have to always be in a growth mindset. I mean, you're going to have setbacks. I knew in the midst of that this was going to be a slight setback, but that I had to just grow out of it. You have to grow through what you go through. So I knew that, but I was still in the middle of it. And so I was having to deal with it. But it was just a good reminder that you guys are only going to grow as much as I'm growing, or you're only going to push as much as I'm pushing. And so that was like encouraging to see that still rings true no matter what. I love that he talks about striking a balance between care and candor. Like, it cannot be all care, because then you're just going to have all these feel-good feelings, but you're not going to have any truth. And candor, which if you've read that one book, I can't remember what that book's called, but that's honesty. That's like whenever you are very, blunt, honestly. And you're telling people, here's your weaknesses, here's where you need to grow, but you're doing that with care. So you have to have that balance between care and honesty. And so there really does come a point, and you'll be blown away when it happens. But when you start telling people, like, you start having tough love and it works and you're like, oh, okay, like they needed to hear that, but I said it because I cared about them. And so it actually helped them. Now, if I didn't care about you and I said something that was just truthful, then you would feel really defeated. But because I really care about your growth, I said something that was honest, that really pointed out a blind spot in your business or in your life. A good example of that is, let me think if I can think of one that you guys won't know who I'm talking about. Oh, okay. So there's a coach who may be joining our team soon, and she is actually not going to be joining it through me. She's going to be joining it through another coach in our organization. And that coach said something to the effect of like, I'm so glad that you talked to this girl. Like, she's really thinking about signing up. And I was like, yes, because I showed her the proof of what's possible with this business. And so in that way, no, wait, that's not even a good example. I don't want to use an example. I'm not going to, because I'm scared I'm going to say something that is going to point someone out. But anyways, basically I was telling this other coach, I was like, listen, if you don't like do this, it's not going to happen. And then she was like, oh, I needed to hear that. I really did. I needed to hear that. And so like it's a really hard thing to like go and say, okay, I'm going to point out a blind spot. And she's not even asking me, but I need to point out a blind spot. But there's just that aspect of it. You have to do that. And then I like the last one that he says is make fun a goal. Like I said that the other day, if you aren't having fun with this business, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. So if you're feeling like you're just, it's a time suck for you and you don't love it, it's because you've drained the fun out of it in some way. So find a fun way to put it back in there. Like the other day in our group, I was like, oh, this challenge group is boring. I want to do something fun. So I went in and did a video and I said, hey, the next 3 people that tag me in an Instagram story where they show a sweaty selfie gets a beach bar and a packet of Energize. And they were like, oh, this is so fun. And so they like went to like, just whatever, like, oh, what would be fun right now? Obviously don't make like stupid claims that you can't back up, but like, just have fun with it. And then I'm not going to go to all 5 levels because I don't think that is beneficial right now. But to move past Emerald, so here is where we get to production. This is when you are producing. And so this was a huge roadblock for me in terms of just like, okay, I can't even hit Success Club. I've got to start hitting Success Club. I have to be a producer, right? If I'm not producing, how in the freaking world am I going to expect any of you guys to produce? So I made a commitment. My very first commitment was just to produce the Success Club numbers that I needed to show you guys that this was possible and to show myself that it was possible. So I said, okay. And this was at Summit 2017. I'll literally never forget it. I was sitting there and I was like, if I come back next year and I have not hit Success Club 5 all 5 months in my business, then what am I doing? Like, why am I even trying this? And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. So I did it and I decided I was going to do it. There was a few months where I had to purchase a challenge pack under someone else's email or a bag of Shakeology or something else here and there, which was all used. It wasn't like wasteful spending, but it was all things that I needed. Then that's what I did. And a lot of times what it was not necessarily things that I was purchasing, but I would talk to a friend who had she'd been on the brink of ordering a challenge pack for months. And I was finally just like, listen, I'll give you my commission. I'll give you $50 back if you'll order the challenge pack and just decide to commit this and do this for yourself because I want to see you succeed. And that's the honest truth. Like, okay, if money's really an issue, if you're really saying that's your excuse, then now you have no excuse. So I was taking that excuse away from them. And then also it was helping me reach some goals and it was helping me build confidence and belief in myself that this is something I could do. And it gave me practice just talking to people. Like you have to be talking to people. You need to set the standard visually. So that's not so with us, it's kind of twofold. Like we have Success Club, but then we also just have fitness. Like if you're not showing up for yourself with fitness, like you have to set that standard. Lindsay Matway was talking on one of her calls one time, which I think I said this on Monday's live video. But she was talking about how, like, if she's leading a group of people through the wilderness, which is what I feel like we're doing sometimes, and she's got this machete, like, she has got to be the one in the front leading the way. Like, she's got to be the one chopping down the brush. She can't expect, if she says she's the leader, she can't expect anyone to come in and do that for her. Like, she's got to be the one doing it. And in consequence of that, they're only going to be moving behind her as fast as she can move. And some of them aren't even going to be moving that as fast as she's moving. Some of them are still going to be straggling along. So you have to set the standard. You also have to bring clarity and reality to the vision. This is a really good point in your business to just really sit down and go, okay, what is my vision? Like, okay, so our team, Team United Legacy, we're going for elite. What's my vision? What do I want to see? Like I'm going to help with the team goal, but really I want to set my own goals. And when you start doing that, then you can start communicating that to your team. And then when you start doing that, people start catching the vision, and then they start setting goals, and it's just a ripple effect. Also, production creates momentum. When people see results, when people see numbers going up, that creates momentum. Here is the negative side to production, especially for achievers like Enneagram Type 3 people, is you have to love and serve your team members who don't follow you, okay? They are not any less valuable. They just have different goals. They have different growth rates. They have different hurdles they have to jump over, and that is not for you to judge or be upset about. Like, they are growing as fast as they are ready to grow. You just continue. Your only job is to continue setting the standard. It is not to drag them. It is not to tell them what you think they should be doing. It is not to tell them that they are losers or whatever. It is your job to continue setting the standard and continue encouraging them and speaking belief into them. So there's that. And I think that was it for, oh yeah, yes. Be the team member that you want on your team. So that's huge. Cast your vision. Use momentum. Accept your roles, change agent. And let me see if there's anything else. Okay, yeah, that's where I stopped. And so basically, here's how you do that, the actions to conquer within the business. But let me stop share. Oh my goodness, pushing the wrong buttons. Okay, so the whole idea here is just that you need to, I want you to start thinking, what is my team name going to be? When should I start a team page? How do I want to run this? Like, that's the mentality you have to take, and then start reading those books. You guys have to be reading books about leadership. There was one more thing I wanted to say. Check my notes. Oh, this one's huge. So when I first started actually truly building, okay, so my first coach that went to Emerald I was telling you about, I scared her right off. And here's why. She jumped in. I was so excited to have a business builder that I poured everything into her. And that wasn't necessarily wrong, but what I did was I was before she jumped on the team, I was out looking, and I was making posts about who I wanted to be on my team, who I was looking for. And she joined. And when she joined, I thought, I got her. Like, I'm done. I can be done with this. And so here's Summer, and I'm pouring everything into her, and she quit. And then I was like, oh crap. Well, now what do I do? And I just kind of stopped, because I was like, well, they're all going to, if that happened, then they're all going to quit. And what I had done wrong, and I did it again, you guys, I did it again. Some old habits die hard. I actually ended up signing up another coach in like January, and she was a rock star, and she showed up, and she actually, so here's the honest truth. When she signed up, she was more of a leader than I was. She was leading me some months. She was taking me to school. And so what I did was I was like, shoot, this cannot happen. Like, I'm supposed to be a leader. Like, I need to step it up. So I did. And I started growing. Okay. I do not want you to think that Lauren Brzezinski started off just leading team calls on the fly, like doing an awesome job. I sucked at this. I sucked so bad. And so I want you to like realize that like it just takes growth. And so anyways, I decided that I was like, okay, I need to start growing as a leader, because she's showing me up, and like that's not going to work out long term. It just doesn't work out in any equation. So I started growing, but she didn't. And so I kept growing, and she stayed where she was. So initially she was ahead of me. And then I kept growing, and then I kept growing, and then she didn't, and she'd go a little bit, and then I just kept going. And what happened was there was all of a sudden there was this tension where I was dragging her for all that I was worth. Like, I was like, come on. Like, I know you're a leader. I saw it in you at once, and like, you can do this. And she was not willing to grow. And so I kept pouring so much energy into her. And here's the big thing is I leveled off my standard. Instead of allowing myself to grow, I stopped because I wanted her to catch up. And that's not what we do. Like, it's just not what you do. And so here's what I've learned. If you have one coach that you're working with, you keep looking for more, because you continue to set your standards high. You continue to move forward. And that does two things. That tells your coach that you already have, oh crap, she means business. Like, I can't just sit here idly. Like, I'm not the prize to be won. Like, I've got to show up and show, I mean, not that we're basing people on whatever, but just show my worth. Because when you continue to grow and you don't pour, I don't know how to explain this, but do you know when someone knows they're like the prize child, and so then they think they're done and they've reached the pinnacle? Like, that's what I had done to two coaches before I realized what I was doing. Like, yeah, you're a coach on this team. I know a perfect way to explain it. You have a married couple, and then they have a kid, and then all of a sudden the mom is all about the kid, and then the kid rules the roost. You see what I'm saying? Instead of, hey, you're part of our family now, and like, you do what we do, and we all grow together. That was what I had done, is I had gotten this child, and I was like, oh, you're everything. You're so wonderful. But in reality, that serves no one. Like, you have to say, okay, cool, you signed up, you're part of the family, let's run now. Like, it's not just you are suddenly like this everything. And that's what tends to happen to Emerald coaches, is we get these two coaches and we're like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. And like, because it is exciting, don't get me wrong, it's super exciting. But then you treat them as a golden child, and so they think they've arrived and they don't have to grow any. And then they're like, why is my business not growing? It's because they're entitled, honestly. So you have to just say, cool, you're here, let's go. And that's the attitude you have to take. And you have to keep looking for your team. Like, sometimes it feels really weird to me whenever I sign up a new coach or two new coaches, and then the next week I'm like, we're looking for new coaches. But that's just what you do. It's like, it's not that they're not good enough. It's just, why would we not keep up this momentum? Because it's super fun. So that is one thing I really want you guys to like caution yourself against, is just pouring everything into those coaches that you have. Instead, I want you to grow in leadership and continue to read leadership books and continue setting that standard and looking for people who also really align with that, like attract the people that are like that. Because it does everyone a favor, not just you, but it does your whole team a favor when everyone is surrounded with the same goal. So anyways, I really also wanted to start talking about like the benefits of Diamond, but really it's the same as Emerald. You just get more of a team cycle bonus. I did want to share, sorry, I'm jumping over really quick just because I see on the screen I only have 5 minutes left. But I did just want to share that since going Diamond and then building a team with volume, I've started getting a $100 bonus every week. So like, I want you to look forward to that as well. Like, sure, like obviously the leadership and everything is my main focus. Like, I just want you guys to grow and be the amazing women that I know that you are meant to be in the back of your heads. But I also want you to know that comes with an income growth, which, I mean, it's super cool. So super cool that we get paid to be better women. Like, I still can't wrap my head around that. And like today, like I went and hung out at a girl's house that I just met, who I trust, by the way. And our kids played, and she joined our team, and we're all excited. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe this is really a career that I'm getting paid to do. I got paid to have a play date with another mom today. Like, it's truly nuts. So I just want you guys to just be so encouraged that this is real, and you just got to keep believing and keep trudging and keep the discipline, and then grow as a leader, and it will happen. Okay. It really will. Do you guys have any questions for me? I really did have a lot of intentions to show you like the compensation plan and how the stuff works, but I got really carried away on the leadership part of it.
What I need to hear more than you could make more money. Because I feel like that's what took me so long to like hit Emerald, is to just have that confidence and belief in myself. And so whether that money was going to be there or not, it took me a little bit to be like, okay, here's what you got to do.
Right. And if I had to choose between the growth that I get in this business and the income that I get, I would choose the growth. I really would. Like, I feel like I could do anything I set my mind to now, except for that this business is still what I want to set my mind to. So yeah, you just have to invest in you. Like, so woo-woo here, but like, you've got to read those PD books that show you how to truly be a leader and lead someone else and lead a challenge group even, because that's like crucial to our business and our lives, honestly. Okay, cool. That's all I've got. If you guys have any questions that like pop up afterwards, seriously, if you really want me to go deep into the compensation plan, I can do a one-on-one call about just how Diamond works and how to strategize your way there and all that stuff. But I just really felt like this was where I needed to go tonight for some reason. I have no idea why. So that's where I went. Oh, my last 2 points. They could be quick, I promise. Number 4 is to show up before the people are there. So like if you're sitting here going, hey, I don't actually really have a real working team, or I don't actually have that many clients, keep showing up like they're there. Like just show up, be there, keep growing. Because when you start showing up like they're there, they start coming. It's the weirdest, craziest thing, but I promise you that's what I've done. That's what any coach in this business has done, because lo and behold, we all start at Success Club 0 every single month. And lo and behold, we all start off as coaches on day 1 where we don't have any indie prospects. So like, it's just where you start, show up. And then 5 is double your efforts. And I know that sounds like really not fun at all. But like if you're sending 5 invites a day and you're not getting it, then do 10 invites a day. Because that is, all this top coaches say that's the secret. We just did more of what we were already doing. So if you want 2 practical ways, there you go. But mostly just leadership. All right, I'm going to end the call because it's going to do it for us awkwardly if I don't. So bye, you guys.